Hello everyone, this is The Voice News for Spring 2022. It's been a while since we presented The Voice News last semester, so we will update several issues that happen around Mason Korea and Incheon Global Campus. Now, announcing the first news. We are pleased to introduce Mr. Yoo Pyung-yoon, the new CEO of Incheon Global Campus. He was deeply impressed by the value of IGC, which provides quality education in prestigious universities worldwide to global students. He noticed several problems and shortcomings on campus that he could improve by bringing about changes to what students have complained about. He is especially focused on developing students' lives, facilities, and communication within the campus community. Firstly, in order to provide a pleasant residential life to students, he replaced the canteen with a 24-hour convenience store and replaced all mattresses in the dormitory and the washing machines. Additionally, to support students' university lives, the IGC library was remodeled and activity rooms were given to each registered student organization. Furthermore, he planned to develop an IGC application for better communication with students. We hope that CEO Yu keeps his ears open to students' voices and puts efforts into making the well-being of the IGC community. This is the second news. On April 7, Mason Vision Day was held on campus to celebrate the 50th anniversary of George Mason University. On this day, there was the opportunity to receive Mason Vision Day Commissioner gears and other gifts and watch a great performance video of Mason Green Machine Pep Band. Campus Dean of George Mason University Korea, Robert Matz, gave a few words of encouragement, emphasizing the primary value of the university that we believe everyone can and should grow. Mason Vision Day was a valuable time for both students and faculty, which made them feel belonging to the Mason community. We are looking forward to stepping to further advancements so that more Mason patriots feel the pride of our university in the future. Here is the third news. On May 14, IGC Sports Day was held by the IGC Student Council Union and IGC Foundation. Sports Day events included futsal, basketball, dodgeball, tug-of-war, and relay running. The IGC Sports Day received great attention as it was a significant event involving all four universities in the IGC, while many events had disappeared due to the pandemic. Mason Korea won man and woman futsal, tug-of-war, and relay running. Although we were defeated by the other universities in dodgeball and basketball, our score was the highest among them, and we could win an overwhelming victory. This IGC Sports Day provided the opportunity for unity of the whole Incheon Global Campus community. It is expected to hold more events that encourage the community to have meaningful experiences together. Move on to the fourth news. Compared to last year, the number of Global Gateway students who transitioned to Mason Korea from Fairfax campus greatly increased in spring 2022. For their successful adaptation to Korea and the campus here, the Department of International Students and the university helped them in many ways. For example, the Department of International Students held an orientation session and opened a group chat for them. Also, the university helped them in a practical way, including course registration and preparing transition documents. However, it seems they want more detailed information and active support from Mason Korea. We interviewed one of the Global Gateway students who is enrolled in the first semester in Mason Korea.
So I was a part of Global Gateway, so I had a lot of help with Mason Fairfax and as well as Mason Korea, and then we had a teacher as well that helped us along the way with coming into Korea for like the first week, and we took a class the fall semester Basically just explaining Korea and just helping us so when we get here we wouldn't have like a huge culture shock. Was probably being okay with being alone. Like I felt like I had to be with friends at all time, and when I didn't have friends around, I would just stay in my room, and I kind of just had to push myself to go out by myself. I'd probably say like the interaction between like the Korean students and then the international students, because a lot of times I feel like international students will be by themselves and Korean students usually stay to themselves and not really communicate unless they really have to. That'd probably be the only thing that I feel like needs to be improved on.
It is nice to hear from the student about the difficulties. We wish Mason Korea to be more considerate to Global Gateway students for their adaptation and have a memorable time in Korea. This is the last news. After 2 years of online instruction with a lot of inconveniences, Mason Korea finally moved on to in-person instruction mode. Not only students, but also professors are excited to have in-person classes, but there are some drawbacks as well. With the in-person classes, students and professors can interact more actively, and professors can give more dynamic lectures to students. On the other hand, they still have concerns about the spreading of the virus. We interviewed one of our professors at Mason Korea to hear thoughts about this situation.
Compared to online instruction, from a learning perspective and from an instruction perspective, in class, I was able to see if students were engaging with the materials, if they were listening when I gave instructions. From a social perspective as well, I think things changed dramatically when we returned to in-class instruction. I felt all through COVID, it was quite difficult for our incoming freshman students to create relationships, but returning to in-class instruction allowed students to get to know each other better, and I think that was a big difference. For some students, there was a difficulty having to manage their time, allow enough time to get up and get to class, and that seemed like a struggle for some of you. For me, it was not a difficult transition, but certainly for some students, I think they would say they had some issues socially as well, especially if they'd done the last 2 years online and home. Although I really enjoyed the several semesters we had online, and I still feel like I created some good relationships with students, I much prefer being in person, face to face, and getting to see my students' faces, even if behind masks, and getting to see them interact with each other as well. It was wonderful to be back in the classroom this semester.
It is great to know the professor's perspective on the changing instruction mode. We have been through a hard time for the last 2 years. However, we believe that we can overcome the new challenges of this transition and back to normal. This is the end of today's news, and please stay tuned for the upcoming The Voices publications. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the semester. Thank you.